The market is a place where a man's fortune is not made by how often he is right, but by how much he has left after he is wrong. That is why the first and greatest rule in speculation, the rule that sits above all others, is the rule of position sizing. You may search for 1,000 rules about entries, exits, charts, tips, and timing, but you will always come back to this one. A man can be right about the direction of a stock and still lose everything. If he has sized his position wrong, he can be wrong about the direction, but if his size is disciplined, he will live to fight another day. And the only fight that matters in this business is survival. If you cannot survive, you cannot profit. And if you cannot profit, then you have no business speculating. I have seen more men ruined not by being wrong, but by being wrong with too much. They wanted to get rich on the first swing. They believed the market owed them something for their cleverness, for their information, for their confidence. But the market owes you nothing. It does not care if you are smart, bold, or certain. It does not care about your debts or your dreams. It only cares about your capital. And it will strip it from you the moment you place it in harm's way without protection. Position sizing is protection. It is not glamorous. It does not make the headlines. Nobody boasts in the bucket shops about how small they bet or how cautious they were, but those who last, those who accumulate, those who become rich, they all whisper the same thing. Size is survival, and survival is profit. You may hear a man say, "I knew that stock would go up, but I was shaken out by margin calls." What he really means is, "I was too big for my capital." Another will say, "I was right, but I couldn't hold." That is the voice of a man who put too much on the line. Being right is useless if your size does not allow you to sit still. The market demands patience. But patience is only possible if your position is sized so that the daily jiggles, the sudden drops, the unexpected moves do not force you out. You cannot be patient if your heart is in your throat every tick. You cannot let your profits run if every down tick feels like ruin. You cannot cut your losses if the size is so large that you refuse to admit the mistake. The whole game comes back to size. Now, many beginners think size is about greed. They think, if I double my size, I will double my profits. But what they do not see is that they also double their danger. They double the weight on their nerves. They double the chance that a small mistake will become a fatal one. Speculation is not arithmetic. It is psychology. You may hold 100 shares comfortably, but 1,000 shares may break your back even if the stock moves the same way. Your brain will not work the same when you are too large. You will not see the market. You will only see your money bleeding. You will not follow your rules. You will follow your fear. A man who is oversized is already beaten because he will act not as a speculator, but as a gambler. The gambler bets because he must. The speculator bets because the odds are right. The only way to stay a speculator is to size yourself so that you are never forced, never desperate, never over your head. I have always said it is not the market that beats the man. It is the man that beats himself. And the weapon he uses most often is his own greed expressed through size. How many fortunes have been lost because a man wanted to make a killing instead of a living? How many houses gone? How many wives left? How many men ended up on the street? Not because they lacked brains, but because they lacked the discipline to size their trades. It is not knowledge that saves you. It is not courage. It is not tips. It is size. A small position can be corrected. A small loss can be endured. A small mistake can be forgiven. But when the size is too large, no forgiveness is possible. The market does not forgive and it does not forget. The trouble is, most men cannot stand to think small. They dream of millions, but they do not dream of the slow climb. They want the fortune in a season, not in a lifetime. And so they take a large position because they believe that if they are right, they will win so much that they will never need to work again. But here is the trap. When you take a position that is too large, you are already wrong. No matter what the stock does, even if it moves in your favor, you will not be able to manage it with calm. You will take profits too soon because you are afraid of losing. You will not pyramid correctly because you already have too much. You will not be able to act like a general commanding his troops. You will be like a prisoner dragged by them, and sooner or later, that will be the end of you. I learned this lesson the hard way, as all true lessons in the market are learned. I had been right on direction, right on timing, right on the story, and why?